Test 1, 2. Okay.
Yeah, but it's okay until.
Yeah. Testing 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
Oh, yeah, I heard you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the commencement exercises at the University of San Francisco. The ceremony is about to begin, and we ask your help to make it enjoyable for everyone. Please respect the structure and function of this beautiful house of worship, and do not stand on the pews or sit on the altar or the altar railings at the side of the church. Please turn off all audible ringers on cell phones so that friends and family members may hear the ceremony. When the ceremony is over, please exit through the doors at the rear of the church. And now, please rise.
Good afternoon. My name is Chinyere Opara, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the university's return to an in-person commencement. USF is proud of the graduates who have preceded you over the last century and a half. We're not only proud of what they achieved, but of how they achieved it, with passion and purpose, with compassion and ethics, with a desire to serve our community, to serve the common good, to make the world a better place. These USF graduates went forth, in the words of St. Ignatius, to set the world on fire. Today, as new graduates, you join a community of USF alumni more than 100,000 strong. We are proud of you, and we can't wait to see how you too will change the world. Presiding at this afternoon's exercises is the Reverend Paul J. Fitzgerald of the Society of Jesus, 28th President of the University. Now, please remain standing for the national anthem sung by Ms. Sasha DeMeja, candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, and for the invocation offered by Dr. Stephen Zunes, Professor of Politics, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
As we gather today in celebration of the accomplishments of our graduates, let us pause together in a moment of silence for those whose lives were lost in recent acts of hate in Buffalo, New York, and Laguna Woods, California. May those who mourn be comforted, and may we continue to counter such evil acts with courage and stand with love in the face of hatred and oppression. We also remember all those members of our community, including members of our graduating class and loved ones who have passed away this year. In the name of our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer, we stand here grateful for having reached this day. We are grateful for the faculty, staff, and others who have helped draw out these graduates their potential. We are grateful for the family and friends who have gathered here today, as well as those who could not be with us. Most of all, we are grateful for our students who, despite the limitations and hardship of study through a horrific pandemic, were able to complete their requirements and stand before us today as graduates. This momentous time in their lives comes in a world wrecked with war, poverty, injustice, illness, bigotry, and environmental degradation. Grant them the wisdom and courage to shift the world toward wholeness, to perfect its brokenness, and celebrate the beauty of your creation. You, whose prophets proclaim good news to the poor, to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness, bless these graduates and grant us all peace. Shalom, salam, shanti. Amen.
Amen. Please be seated. Ms. Susan Calandra, a member of the University Board of Trustees, will formally open the ceremony. Trustee Calandra.
Wow, it's so great to see all of you here today and on such a happy occasion. Good afternoon. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my honor to formally open the 163rd commencement exercises of the University of San Francisco for the College of Arts and Sciences. The distinctiveness of your Jesuit education stems from its deeply rooted history and a mission grounded in intellectual rigor and faith that does justice. Since its beginnings nearly 500 years ago, Jesuit higher education remains committed to academic excellence, service, leadership, and a holistic experience. Let us now acknowledge those who have invested in your future, those who have loved you, encouraged you, and supported you unconditionally. These individuals, your family, friends, and your dedicated professors deserve your thanks and recognition. So I invite the graduates to please stand and join me now in recognizing all those who helped you make today possible. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Today, you join the ranks of many millions of alumni of Jesuit universities around the world. We know the future is in good hands. Congratulations and savor the day.
Thank you, Trustee Calandra. To present today's valedictorian, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Eileen Fang, Interim Dean of the College. Dean Fang.
I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Yunyi Yang, candidate for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Media Studies, who is representing the class of 2022 as its valedictorian. Ms. Yang.
Good afternoon, Father Fitzgerald, Provost Opara, Dean Fung, distinguished guest Jennifer Siebel-Newsom, members of the Board of Trustees, University Leadership Team, faculty, fellow classmates, families, and friends. My name is Bridget Yang, and I'm honored to be your valedictorian for the College of Arts and Sciences. Today is a day of celebration, for us to reflect upon the hard work and support that has shaped us into the dons we are today. And as I look around and witness a sea of masks, I'm reminded of the strength in this room. Given all that we've endured and continue to endure, it is truly a privilege to graduate with a class filled with resilience. Growing up, my biggest dream has always been to tell great stories. And over the years, I've learned a few things about what makes a memorable one. Of course, you have your main characters, but they are nothing without the people around them who shape their personalities and still stay despite the cliffhangers of uncertainty. My opening image, Los Angeles with my family by my side. I would not be who I am without my father's creativity, my mother's patience, my sister's empathy. Flickering forward to college, the cast gets a little bigger. Scene 19 is where I meet the professors who believe in my artistic pursuits, who challenge my creative limits in ways I would have never expected. Scene 20 is where I meet my best friends, who make the mundane moments feel like magic, who remind me that with every shadow of doubt, there's always a light hanging behind it. However, every good story has to have some conflict. COVID-19 restructured the timeline of our lives, but each of you have navigated the fractured years with a spirit that speaks volumes about your perseverance and patience. Leaning on each other, we learned to follow a constellation of communities to guide us through the long nights. I'm forever grateful for CAB, Go Team, USF TV, and spaces in between for cradling me in a lifeboat of love as I plunged into a dark time. Whichever groups you call home, belonging is a blessing I hope you received during your time at USF. It is through the dark periods that lead to transformation, and I'm so proud of all the ways we've leaned on each other in order to arrive at this very moment. And while I could carry on with this extended metaphor for much longer, I've also learned that story formulas will never capture the complexities of our reality. There's no outline on life, no rewrites or retakes, or the chance to color grade experiences in post to make life seem a bit brighter. This used to terrify me, but now I see it as a beautiful thing. When the only choice is to push forward, every event becomes a learning opportunity. Sometimes a door closes so that if you listen hard enough, the breeze of another calling can drift in through the window. My favorite poet, Ocean Vuong, once wrote, "The most beautiful part of your body is where it's headed. And as the future opens its arms to welcome your light, I have full faith you will electrify the world with the unique gifts you each hold. Some of you will save lives through medicine. Some of you will save lives through policy, or storytelling, or tech, or wherever your passion lies. Regardless, I know that all of you will make a positive impact on this world. How do I know this? Because you've already been doing it. Because that is why USF chose you. You are crafted by courage, brimming with brilliance. You put faith over fear. Your heartbeat a torchlight whenever darkness came near. And as we disperse across the globe, I could not be more thrilled to witness the ways in which you brighten the lives you come into. I pray you embrace the unknown with kindness, carry yourself with curiosity. We are the dawn of a new day. Let us bloom into a new beginning. Congratulations, class of 2022. Go live a story our world will never forget."
Thank you, Ms. Yang. Distinguished guests, it is time to proceed to the business at hand and the reason we are all here today, the awarding of academic degrees. As we do, I have a favor to ask of you. Clapping and cheering are fine, but please don't stomp on the floorboards of this grand old church. Dean Fung will now present to the President of the University the candidates for the undergraduate degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences. Dean Fung.
The candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the College of Arts and Sciences will please rise and remain standing. Bob Fitzgerald, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Arts and Sciences, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the candidates for the undergraduate degree in the College of Arts and Sciences and to ask you to welcome them into our beloved company.
By virtue of the authority granted by the Charter to the University of San Francisco from the State of California, and of the powers vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer upon you, graduates of the class of 2022, From the College of Arts and Sciences, the undergraduate degrees certified by your dean and faculty with all of the privileges and rights pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Will the graduates please be seated until directed forward by the University Marshals? Father Fitzgerald has conferred your degree, so it is now time to move your tassel from the right side to the left side. The names of the graduates will be announced by Dr. Evelyn Rodriguez, Associate Professor of Sociology. Professor Rodriguez.
Brandon Van Albert Nova. Madison Ray Tilley. Amanda Eileen Spitz, magna cum laude. Elaine Jean Daniels, cum laude. Omer Sheik. Matthew de Los Angeles Mariano. Andrew Joseph Murphy. Molly Rose Bryant, cum laude. Megan Elizabeth Coe. Sarah Ali, cum laude. Gabriela Stephanie Lanza. Isabel Carolina Loza. Bridget Yang. Emma Elizabeth DeBow, summa cum laude. Sky David Barry Weiss, summa cum laude. Sarah Rosetta Voiles Stone, summa cum laude. Sasha Demeja. Mary Catherine Speraza, summa cum laude. Camille Lene Beatty Batiste. Olivia Craven Scott, magna cum laude. Anna Caitlin Schmid, magna cum laude. Harley Ann Coulter, summa cum laude. Briley A. Brownell. Cheyenne Andres Ivani. Caitlin Camastro, magna cum laude. Sue Yang, summa cum laude. Lena Scott Werner, summa cum laude. Elena Elizabeth Envia, cum laude. Mila Josephine Trostel, cum laude. Catherine J. Robinson, summa cum laude. Kayla Marie Gonzalez. Vera Andrea Hines. Jack Andrew Lieberson. Nicole Chu Adelski, cum laude. Yosha Elf Oknes. Kalia Paula Laszlo. Bex Joy Burstowski. Sophia Lilikoy Darji, cum laude. Catherine Vanessa Sanchez, cum laude. Zoe Morel Bishop, magna cum laude. Nathan Lee Schwartzman. Award. Maria Galick. Christina Jivanov, magna cum laude. Winnie Zhang, cum laude. Kendra Bailey Wharton. Lauren Linnell Coyne. Samantha Pliego, cum laude. Robin Nobin Hyun. Danica Shea Cabo Agun. Natasha Leanne Estadi. Ashley Marie de los Santos Ladizabal. Mitchell C. Johnson. Ariana Capogrosso, summa cum laude. Adrienne Isabella Ortiz. Danielle Angelique Preclaro Liano. Munachiso Joy Anwaka. Brandon Ramirez cum laude. Kaylee Medina cum laude. Shiva Hashberry. Megan Lynn Commerce. Kylie Ann Williams, summa cum laude. Taylor Elizabeth Rizek. Juliana Kalinao Solinap. Kobe Freeman Berliner Williams. Roselle Garcia. Amanda Elise Idwegus. Giancarlo Fernandez. Mark Andrew Cassette. Isabel Ann Clark, cum laude. Sion Camille Oberman, magna cum laude. MJ J. Abrams, summa cum laude. Samantha Ariel Berlanga. Sammy Nicole Bruce, cum laude. Vivian Tam. Isabella Deline Batula. Juliana Salomone, cum laude. Callie Marie Fazy, summa cum laude. Brianna Marie David. Brianna Uritia. Angeline Megan C. Caransea. Jade Isra Sifomonse, magna cum laude. Madeline M. Hamilton. Savannah Victoria Miranda. Rosalie Estea Johnson Buckingham. J. Colleen Alina Peñafort. Mana Chirag Unadkat. Chloe Avon Jackson. Angel Umir Dominique Luna Nova. Danielle Saint Arnaud, summa cum laude. Conrad James Raymond. Hannah Noel Esparza. Ava Simone Planner. Flannery Carolyn Mullen, magna summa cum laude. Rebecca Maxine Brown. Miranda Christine Polson, cum laude. Maya Alisa Mercado, cum laude. Sarah Bryan, magna cum laude. Noah Gross, cum laude. Taylor N. Krause. Gabriela Alexia Correa, Nicole Luibar, summa cum laude. Alana Carmel Grace Cree, magna cum laude. Andrea Roser Keene. Ashley Grace Campbell, cum laude. Elizabeth Marie Lally, cum laude. Anjali Lauren Pinkar. Jess Leong, cum laude. Hannah Joanne Washburn, magna cum laude. Seychelle Ada Thomas, cum laude. Sophia Rao Helene, cum laude. May Lynn, summa cum laude. Lulu Anderson. Catherine Berry. Anissa Grace Alazray, summa cum laude. Emily Elaine Lowry, cum laude. Jahaley Luvanos, cum laude. Guadalupe Garrett, magna cum laude. Chloe McKenna Bryan, summa cum laude. Alana Christine Blyman, magna cum laude. Nicole Catherine Easton, cum laude. Emily Chang, magna cum laude. Andong, cum laude. Josiah Aries de Vera, cum laude. Rayburn Tang, magna cum laude. Diana Doe. Zachary Quinn. Leah Paige Taylor, cum laude. Lovepreet Kaur Deensa, cum laude. Gabriela Sarah Clemmer de la Salle, cum laude. Noah Antonio Barreros, cum laude. Catherine Olivia Donovan. Isamari Carissa Cortez, cum laude. Summer Arnett Taylor. Mira Ann Jagadesan. Catherine Nicole Diocaras Roki. Joanna Nakaria Bloss, cum laude. Sierra Anisha Coleman. Naomi Zahava Esra, magna cum laude. Lily Elsa Rose Perkins, cum laude. Ella Ann Burke. Jana Marie Jacinto Bibinito, cum laude. Angela Elizabeth Sivers. Anaya Raven Francis, magna cum laude. Paola Cardenas, magna cum laude. Juliana Michelle Molina, cum laude. David Nicholas Salinas, cum laude. Natalia Mirabel Bomani, summa cum laude. Tashera Yumika York. Maya Ellen Victoria White. Kiana Regine Pataki Ward. Kendra Brown, cum laude. Tiffany Alicia Holmes, summa cum laude. Malone A. Wallace. Elizabeth Dixit, summa cum laude. Ramona Elena Stanley, summa cum laude. Sydney Maya Schleicher, summa cum laude. Victoria Alessandra Marroquin. Monica Kariuki. Genevieve Marie Gray, magna cum laude. Meghana Siri Gadiraja. Mia Danielle Barrett, magna cum laude. Bruce Casi Herrera. Julie Angel Reveles. Robin Alexis Perez, cum laude. Angel Franco. James Anthony Suclaris. Nicholas Miles Goodman, magna cum laude. Marina Scomason. Madeline Sarah Price, summa cum laude. Nico Meisen Deller, summa cum laude. Faith Aisha Mitchell. Junjeng Lee. Alan Austin Sainz, cum laude. Marisa M. Morales, magna cum laude. Carlina Shimizu Chung. Brant Mamoru Yamamoto, cum laude. Yolanda Faye, cum laude. Lillianne Paulhemus Basting, magna cum laude. Angto Jana West, summa cum laude. Georgia Alice Braybeck, summa cum laude. Lauren Sarah Turincio. Annie Michelle Vilorio. Helen Ye. Ashlyn Nicole Lee, cum laude. Caitlin Rose Hum, cum laude. Jaylene Winian Moore, magna cum laude. Claudia Kaye Chan. Michaela Marie Allen DeBoda. Sho Ikagaya Scott. Cressa Carolyn Wilmoth. Corey Michael Pietruska. Adolfo Angel Barrales, cum laude. Sherry Lamb. Adrian Rufino Mercado, cum laude. Ronnie Saini, cum laude. Mohammed Khalid Ismail, cum laude. Mira Grace Nair. Riley Elizabeth Brown, magna cum laude. Natalie Ann Sanfilippo, summa cum laude. Emily Farrow, magna cum laude. Maje Mulia, summa cum laude. Chelsea Rongo Mwanzuzi. Alina Jaden Cruz Reyes. May Castagna, cum laude. Samantha Lynn Beeman, cum laude. Taylor Camille Aldrich, magna cum laude. Waverly Asia Ba, cum laude. Ixel Tonatsin Duran, summa cum laude. Priscilla Kim Ong, summa cum laude. Dennis Joseph Mikonsky, magna cum laude. Ariel Renee Schneider, summa cum laude. Lily N. Turner Kipke, summa cum laude. Pooja Solanki, cum laude. Ruby Sun Sakati Schumann, cum laude. Serena Pickett, cum laude. Nicole Martinez, magna cum laude. Maya Marta Mindlin, cum laude. Jordan Lee Mall, summa cum laude. Erica Marie Garcia Divina Gracia, magna cum laude. Andre Joshua Ferma Canta, summa cum laude. Kian Tong Vu, cum laude. Alana Renee Beltran Malagoso. Jacqueline Grace Jewel Green, cum laude. Kenneth Adair Madragal. Alicia Jamiliet Gomez, cum laude. Orlando Vargas. Isabella Janet Dixon, magna cum laude. Julian Aldrich Jamil Soraperu, summa cum laude. Francesca Isabella Tamagri Christian. Luisa Naya. Renee Maskey. Haywan Mogis Talaktor. Shireen Pearl Stewart. Daniela Joanna Resino, summa cum laude. Brittany Hong, cum laude. Julian Kenneth Boromayo. David Alexandro Cibrian. Ankita Joshi. Sakshi Kashyap, summa cum laude. Teresa Kleber, cum laude. Aishwarya Kulkarni, summa cum laude. Michael Clancy. Holden Michael Odlazil, cum laude. Ariana Brianne Martinez, cum laude. Ella Sulwen Knox. Alexander Tejera Wolfert, cum laude. Heidi Carolyn Erickson. Sue Ling Christine Kaiser. Justin Arangorin. Mark William Buckland, magna cum laude. Jessie Claire Malvi, cum laude. Jeffrey Jason Rothstein, cum laude. Fatima Zahara Tinawi, magna cum laude. Shabin Thapa. Zoe Helen Robertson, magna cum laude. Margaret Rose Cam, summa cum laude. Eric Osvaldo Hernandez. Shruti Elizabeth Joshi. Jeremy Santoso, cum laude. Calderon, cum laude. Sola Sophia Nagaoki, magna cum laude. Emma Louise Hunter. Joseph M. Borello. Amalie R. Langer. Lucia Kostich. Rishan Fung, cum laude. Kifan Chen. Shiyu Hu. Baidi Han. Sally Yang. V. Tui Vo, magna cum laude. Robin Nabin Nguyen, summa cum laude. Alexis Kalanta. Anthony Fogata. Athena Rose Mihalakakos, summa cum laude. Michaela Andrea Hartwell, cum laude. Karel Bukuzi Namegabe. Naleli Juania Sanchez Arce. Jason Matthew Titus. Nicholas Nathan Smink. Sean Sterling Finnerty. Dominic Rossi Wall, magna cum laude. Juliana Esperanza Martinez. Jaden Mahalia Tamayo. Mahalia Tamayo. Shujing Chen.
Distinguished guests, these are the 2022 graduates of the College of Arts and Sciences. Please be seated. Dean Fung will now present our honorary degree recipient and today's commencement speaker, Dean Fung.
It is my pleasure to present our honorary degree recipient and today's commencement speaker. Will Ms. Jennifer Siebel Newsom please rise? Father Fitzgerald, on behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my privilege to present for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, first partner of California and founder of the Representation Project. University trustee Mark Buell will read the citation.
Thank you. Advocate for income equality and equal opportunity. Documentary filmmaker focused on gender equity and social justice. Voice on vital issues that affect children's health, nutrition and well-being, champion of women and their empowerment. Jennifer Siebel Newsom, you are the Golden State's trailblazing first partner, an award-winning filmmaker, founder and CEO of the Representation Project, and a lifelong advocate for women and families. You leverage your voice, storytelling skills, and platform to highlight issues and explore solutions. In the process, you lift others and give voice to their experiences. You adopted a gender-neutral title as spouse to Governor Gavin Newsom, reflecting your effort to promote gender equality. Your film, Misrepresentation, examines how the media has underrepresented women in positions of power. You went on to launch the Representation Project, which uses film and media as a catalyst for cultural transformation. You also executive produced the Emmy Award-winning documentaries, The Invisible War and The Hunting Ground. You earned a bachelor's in Latin American Studies and an MBA from Stanford, and went on to work for Conservation International, a global environmental organization. On assignment in Latin America, you focused on providing micro-enterprise opportunities to women and worked with indigenous communities on conservation strategies to better protect their territories. You later moved to Los Angeles, where your love of the arts and acting landed you roles on screen and stage. While in Hollywood, you founded Girls Club Entertainment to produce women-centered independent films on social, political, and cultural significance. As first partner, you've developed initiatives to improve the lives of Californians. In 2019, your office helped launch #EqualPayCalifornia, intended to turn the strongest equal pay laws in the nation into the nation's smallest pay gap. You secured more than 60 major corporate commitments to the Equal Pay Pledge. Your initiatives, California for All Kids and Outdoor Access for All, raise awareness of the importance of healthy food and time spent outdoors to children's well-being. You co-chair the Governor's Advisory Council of Physical Fitness and Mental Well-Being, which promotes physical and mental wellness among all Californians with an emphasis on youth. Most recently, you partnered with the state agencies to fund the California program State Library Parks Pass, which gives free state park day passes to any Californian with a library card. And I'm going to ad-lib here and add one more thing, which is, I think, perhaps your most remarkable accomplishment. You're the mother of 4 beautiful children. Your focus on cultural change and making society more equitable for all speaks to the very heart of this university's mission. That all may know of our esteem for you as a catalyst for positive change, and our support for your advocacy for equal opportunities for women, children, and families, the university does therefore confer upon Jennifer Siebel Newsom the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters honoris causa, which with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto, given this 21st day of May in the year of our Lord 2022, and of the university, the 167th in San Francisco, California.
Thank you, Mark, for those beautiful words. Thank you, Dean Fung, and the members of the Board of Trustees for your kind words and for bestowing upon me this amazing honor. Okay. I am humbled and exceedingly grateful. President Fitzgerald, Provost Opara, faculty and staff of the university, families and friends, good afternoon. You all have been invaluable in helping these graduates navigate their college careers, getting them to this day. So hats off to you. And to the graduates of the University of San Francisco's College of Arts and Sciences, thank you for including me in your celebration and the culmination of one of the most memorable times of your life. I am beyond honored to share in this moment with you. To those of you who are first in your family to graduate from college, I too share in your family's pride of the legacy you are creating. And to Bridget, your esteemed valedictorian, I have such admiration for you and all that you have achieved. Now, each and every one of you has accomplished quite a feat, one that under normal circumstances, weathering the typical ups and downs of college life, would be impressive. But to finish college during the uncertainty and added stress of a pandemic, my goodness, you and your families should be so proud. It's been a tough few years to say the least. And while I won't dwell on the negative, I think it's important to name the moment we are in to really understand what you have experienced to date. The ongoing climate crisis, pervasive online bullying, bigotry, and divisiveness, a war overseas, threats to voting rights and our democracy, numerous mass shootings, even in our own state, women still fighting for control over our own bodies and the fates of our lives, people of color and other marginalized communities still facing hate-fueled violence, and of course, a global pandemic with far too many lives lost and the isolation and trauma that it has bred. As young people, most generations experience one or maybe two collective life-altering events, but you've seen it all, and it will no doubt shape your perspectives and futures. So when you stop and think about all of this and what it means to you, I hope you remember a common thread. No matter the issue, racial justice, gender equity, LGBTQ+ rights, gun control, climate change, war, or even global health, we are in this together. And no one can solve these problems on their own. It takes a village. It takes a community, and that's what you have here. Even when COVID forced you off campus, you all built a community virtually. You kept each other going, and you had each other's backs. That sense of community returned with you to campus, and I believe it is part of the reason that despite the tough few years we've had, you are here today, ready to cross the finish line. So when I was thinking about this moment in time and the daunting job of trying to inspire you all today, I started to think about the wisdom I wish I had on my graduation day. Like many of you, I was eager to get out there and make my mark on the world. First, I had to acknowledge that life is a lot different today than it was when I was your age. When I was a college student, I didn't have the overly curated world of social media reinforcing toxic messages, unrealistic standards, and the false narrative that you are not enough. 24/7 in the palm of your hand. Social media and smartphones had opened up our world and connected us in a myriad of ways, but they have also exposed children and youth to too much time spent online. And then came the pandemic, heightening fear, anxiety, separation, and isolation. Beyond too many lives lost, it was a recipe for disaster given the burgeoning mental health crisis in this country. It shouldn't surprise any of us then that depression and anxiety amongst college students increased over 110% from 2013 to 2021. And these statistics are disproportionately higher amongst young women, people of color, and LGBTQ+ youth. And finally, as I thought about this speech, I knew it was important to think about what awaits you on the other side of those doors. You're heading out into workplaces, a world, in fact, that has normalized stereotypical masculine associations such as dominance, control, and aggression over stereotypical feminine associations like empathy, care, and collaboration. This societal belief system has left us with record inequality in all forms, from never before seen wealth inequality to households where the brunt of care work and housework still defaults to women, to corporate boardrooms where women still struggle to gain equal representation, despite graduating with more accolades and at higher rates than men. And these inequities are much worse for women of color. With all of this in mind, I thought back to my experience making my first documentary, Misrepresentation, which is about how the media's misrepresentations of women contribute to the underrepresentation of women in positions of power. As I set out to fundraise for the film, I remember family and friends questioning my idea, telling me we had already tackled this issue back in the 70s and asking, why would I want to associate with feminism anyway? I remember being doubted by powerful women asking, who did I think I was to be making this film? And I remember being told one too many times that since Hillary Clinton had run for the presidency, that of course we'd achieved parity. Oh, I was frustrated, but I was stubbornly confident in my conviction. I knew I needed to tell this story. So aside from a friend who gave me some money to shoot a day of interviews that I could cut together for fundraising purposes, I had to hustle and raise $50 here and $1,000 there from strangers, enough to carry on. But then I needed a director. So I reached out to several female filmmakers who loved the idea, but at the 11th hour, I'd hear back that they couldn't direct the film because if they did, no one in Hollywood would hire them afterwards. I begrudgingly resorted to directing the film myself. My renewed courage and conviction, however, were further tested during the filmmaking process. A member of my crew, a man I hired, began belittling me, questioning me, and laughing at my directorial decisions. He was trying to take over because he decided that I wasn't good enough. That blatant sexism was almost the last straw. I'd lost my confidence. I wanted to give up. It was actually my husband who sat me down and told me that giving up wasn't an option. He was right. So I carried on. And I'm so happy I did, because I am so proud of Misrepresentation. Misrepresentation changed my life. It taught me to never give up, believe in myself, and trust my intuition. Through it, I discovered my passion for social justice documentary filmmaking. I learned the power we all have when we use our voice, not to preserve the status quo, but to disrupt it. And I learned that when you discover your true passion and purpose in life and use it in service of others, you will derive such joy and meaning from life. It's cliche, I know, but that's why it's so important for you to hear me when I say that being the only you there is, and the only you that ever will be, is what makes you so special and unique. It's actually your defining strength. You all need to know that deep in your bones. Because through social media today, you have far too many voices trying to tell you that you are not enough. Social media is a part of your lives, and it will be a part of your futures, but it shouldn't dictate who you are or how much you value yourself. So I encourage you to prioritize yourself by taking a break from it often. And instead, I recommend you carve out time for that which boosts your spirits and creativity. Take a walk in nature. Read a good book. meditate, go to a museum, eat a piece of dark chocolate, try a new recipe, have a picnic in the park, spend time with friends who build you up rather than those who tear you down, learn a new language, travel, in fact, travel often, volunteer, volunteer, and volunteer again, spend time with animals, make real memories, don't just post about them, check in on each other and schedule regular get-togethers, and when life or circumstances feel like too much and self-care techniques don't feel like enough, ask for help. Reach out to your community, this community, talk to a doctor or a therapist, and again, I can't underscore this enough, don't be afraid to ask for or offer help. None of us are alone. We're living in such crazy times, and I know sometimes we want to become apathetic as a defense mechanism to protect ourselves from the pain and stress of the world, but you can't allow the myriad of world problems to destroy your spirit. Try to see them less as the enemy and more as a challenge. So please take care of yourselves, because when you do, you will have the energy and the mindset to invest deeply in people and in life. And from there, you will be able to tackle the world's challenges. And as always, in facing obstacles, take breaks, reevaluate, and collaborate as much as possible. I'm saying all of this because, quite frankly, we need all of you. We need your help if we want to leave California, this country, and this world in a better place. And we need you if we are ever going to close the gap between what my good friend Van Joan calls the founding reality and the founding dream of this country. The founding dream of America has always been democracy, equality, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But in reality, our country was founded on slavery, gender inequity, and the violent theft of native lands. As a country, we've been working to close this gap for generations, and we've made progress. But with progress comes backlash. So I challenge you today to pick up the mantle. Each of your contributions will look different, and that is okay. In fact, it's essential, because we need your individual energy, your strength, your intelligence, your creativity, that invaluable spark that makes you, you. So please, stay true to your authentic selves. You have so much to offer the world. And don't ever forget that you have each other. You have the communities you built before college, in college, and those you will build when you leave here. And if I may reinforce one point, in community, the health and well-being of all of us is as important, if not more important, than our individual success. Because our collective strength, our partnership, will lead to even more success. So don't forget to take care of each other. And don't forget all you've learned in this very special institution as you head off into the world. I'm personally so excited to see what you all do next, because together you are unstoppable. And I know that our future is safe in your hands. So thank you once again for your time, and congratulations to the class of 2022.
Thank you, FIRS partner Siebel Newsome. To conclude these exercises, I am honored and pleased to present the President of the University, the Reverend Paul J. Fitzgerald of the Society of Jesus. Father Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Provost Opara. I'd like to begin by asking you to join me in thanking the most important and often the least visible people, the groundskeepers and the custodians who made this campus and this space beautiful today for you and for your celebrations. And there are a couple in the back, so they heard you. I'd also like to thank the marshals. These are staff from across the university who volunteered today to help bring us into this beautiful space and will help us to leave again as we move on to the next stage of our celebrations. So for the marshals, thank you. I could just say ditto and I'd be done. It was a beautiful talk, beautiful, and very sage advice. So the context of your USF education, whether for your bachelor's degree or if you're coming back and staying on for a master's, is not at all what you planned, what you hoped for, or what you could ever have imagined. A global pandemic by a novel coronavirus that continues to mutate, forcing scientists to evolve our vaccine responses, and policymakers and public health officials to work to overcome vaccine hesitancy on the one hand and vaccine shortages on the other. There's been a global resurgence of nationalism, tribalism, and racism, seen most vividly and tragically in the invasion of Ukraine. And this has obliged us as a university community to counter racism with anti-racism, nationalism with humanism, and violence with non-violent activism, confronting every effort to dehumanize people because of some aspect of their identity. And we respond with cura personalis, care for that whole, unique, and blessed person that each one of you is. In this time of human-induced climate change, with droughts, wildfires, floods, and monster storms, which devastate whole biospheres, we have worked to get our campus to net zero carbon neutrality, even as we have researched and educated to help all of humankind achieve that same end. We know that there is much important and difficult work that lies ahead. We know that the greatest thing that this university can do to help the planet is to educate and graduate you. You are writing the poetry that will melt the hearts of the hard-hearted. You are composing music that will set guilty feet into a liberating dance. You are proposing legislation that will bend the arc of history toward justice. You are inspiring the next generation to follow in your green footprints. And you are inventing a healthy future for all of God's creatures on this beautiful blue planet. Drawing on 4.5 centuries of Jesuit educational tradition, we here at the University of San Francisco, standing on our own 167 years of educational experience, have equipped you intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually for the work and the play, the victories and the defeats, the joys and the sorrows that surely will come. Each of you is unique and graced to be the one and only on this whole planet. But also, you have grown together. We have grown into a beloved community with shared hopes, shared values, shared dreams. Now, allow me to name 4 virtues which I hope and expect that you have embraced, developed, and practiced while you were here at the University of San Francisco, and that you will carry with you into the next chapter of your amazing life. These fruits of your Jesuit education are discernment, justice, courage, and humility. Now, at more than 200 Jesuit universities around the world and 600 Jesuit high schools, we have been celebrating this past year the 500th anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola's conversion. Conversio in Latin means a turning toward, a change of direction. Ignatius, born in 1491, trained to be an accountant and then learned to sword fight and join the army. He was wounded in a terrible battle in Pamplona, in a war between France and Spain, and some of his friends carried him home. And he spent the next 6 months recovering from his wounds. And during that time, he had a number of religious experiences. Not religious ideas, not religious counsel from priests, nor memories of old lessons, but rather, every once in a while, a direct experience of grace, a warmth, a sense, a deep sense that he belonged in the universe, and the universe cared for him. And that feeling gave him a profound sense of consolation. But also there were days when he felt nothing. He felt distracted, he felt confused, he felt alone, and he experienced that as desolation. Now he began to pay attention to those experiences of consolation and desolation, and to try to tease out what was the difference, what was the cause, and what was the effect. I tell you all this because I hope that during your years here with us, you have come to practice the art of discernment, paying attention to how you feel deep down in your heart. We can make up all kinds of rationales with our minds, but our hearts never lie to us. So discern your way forward. Take the next peaceful step that leads you towards joy, that leads you towards peace. And if a path opens in front of you that leaves you feeling frustrated, isolated, in a word, desolate, then don't take that path. I hope that you've come to pay attention to these experiences of consolation and desolation, choosing every day to take that next peaceful step into your desired future. And where can you find that desired future? Your deepest desire is God's desire for you. Now, I believe that on a daily basis, one of the things that attracts you, that pulls you forward, that stirs your deepest desires are questions of justice. Performing arts for social justice, the SWIG program in Jewish studies and social justice, the Leo T. McCarthy Center for Public Service and the Common Good, philosophy, theology, literature, history, military ethics, data ethics, virtue ethics, and so many more. Across every curriculum at USF, students are invited to take up questions of justice. It is our hope that this quest for justice has become habitual to you, in your heart and in your mind. As the prophet Amos said, "But let justice roll down like waters, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." Now, to build up justice, we must confront injustice. Injustice takes many forms, and all of them are deep down ugly, though injustice always tries to hide under a veneer of attractiveness. Evil only advances when it disguises itself somehow as desirable. You must be able to see past appearances, push through deceit, learn to recognize lies, and we live in an age of mendacity, all while overcoming your own hesitancy, and all of this takes courage. Be courageous. Speak your truth. Gather allies, build bridges, open doors for yourself and for others, set a place at the table for the one who has been excluded and denied. Now, courage does not demand fearlessness. A lot of this stuff scares me on a daily basis. Courage allows us to own our fears and then step forward anyway. Courage urges us to be thoughtful in how we do this. Gather evidence. Craft our arguments, and act with like-minded people when we can, but alone when we must. While you were here, I saw so many acts of courage among you. Your first days here at the university, meeting people from every state and from 100 different countries around the world. Some of the more challenging classes that you took. Speaking up and voicing your opinion. That first day of internship at Dodge & Cox or Genentech or Anderson or at City Hall. Domestic students going abroad for the first time, navigating a new culture, a new language. And for our international students, thank you. Your journey to USF and your successful inculturation and your generous sharing of your life world with your American colleagues, students, and faculty has been a blessing. an amazing blessing. For all of us, it takes courage to show up as your full and authentic self. It takes courage to call out the bad behavior of those who violate our community standards. Every act of courage that you have performed, I thank you. You have changed the world from here. A final virtue I wish to commend to you is perhaps one that you have not thought much about: humility. Humility comes from the Latin word humus, meaning soil. The humble person stands barefoot on the ground, feels the earth beneath their feet, grounded in reality with nothing to separate them from who they truly are. The humble person knows their strengths and weaknesses and holds them all gently, honestly, deploying these strengths for the common good and leaning on friends and colleagues to make up for my shortcomings. The humble person is the best teammate, for he conducts himself with such integrity and such magnanimity that what he feels in his heart and what he understands with his mind is what he says with his words and what he builds with his hands. There is no self-contradiction in such a person, for she has grown fully into the image and likeness of God that she already always was in God's sight. So, we, your faculty and staff, mentors and guides, are now also your friends. And we are truly proud of what you have accomplished. And we salute you on this, your commencement day. So, keep in touch. Join the Alumni Association. We, faculty and staff, mentors and friends, we are very proud of all that you have accomplished. Make us prouder still by what you do next. God bless.
Thank you, Father Fitzgerald. Please rise. Teresa Moore, Associate Professor of Media Studies, will offer the benediction. Professor Moore.
So the last time I did this was in 2018. It's really good to be back together again. Beloved Assembly, if you will join me in prayer. Lord, we thank you for the innumerable blessings that have brought us to this joyful day. As teachers, parents, guardians, mentors, and guides, we pray that you graduates are leaving here filled with slow-blooming seeds, lessons that you won't even know you've learned until you need them, lessons that we pray will sustain you in uncertain and challenging times. Remember the lesson of St. Ignatius to be each of us for each other. Remember the feeling of being together on this day and the spirit of goodwill, gladness, and hope that fills this church. Lord, bless all of us here with the courage to love one another, to fight injustice, to speak up and speak out, but also bless us to know how to listen and really hear each other, to embrace the love in witnessing someone else's reality. Lord, help us to see you in each other. Bless us to all know the great gift of being useful in this world, to be more eager to share another's cross than to claim credit, to understand that we don't have to save our best selves for special occasions, but that every moment offers a chance for grace. In a time when evil, suffering, ignorance, and cynicism can seem so loud and insurmountable, make us responsive to the goodness around and inside of us. Let us make that goodness manifest. Let us be guided by the words of that great Virginian, Arthur Ashe. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. In thanksgiving and joy, we say amen.
Now, please remain standing in place until all members of the graduating class have left the church. This concludes the College of Arts and Sciences ceremony for the 163rd Annual Commencement Exercises of the University of San Francisco. Congratulations.